Hello everybody, I thought I'd do a video today on my kind of most used Logic shortcuts. So this is specific to Logic Pro 10, so it's only for Mac users, sorry, but that's the program I work in, so I figured I'd be most use helping those people. These are my top 8 shortcuts, so they're the ones that I use most every day, they're the ones that save me the most time, and the ones that when I teach other people, they don't know about. So hopefully after this video, you'll have 8 new shortcuts that you can use. I'm also going to throw in a bonus one at the end, so it's technically 9 shortcuts. So here we go, my top 8 Logic shortcuts to save you time every day. Number 1 is Command and J. So what this is going to do is link clips together. So if you have like an audio file and an audio file, and then you select them both and hit Command and J, it's going to merge them into one audio file. It also works with Midi too. So if you have like a piano roll with like a clip here and a clip here and then a clip over here and you just select all of the clips and then Command and J, and then it's going to merge all those Midi clips together into one and make them far easier to manage. The next one, number 2, is Command and U. So if you want to loop a region, you can like click at the top and select, but actually if you just click a region, like click some Midi or click some audio and then hit Command and U, it'll set the loop just to where you've just selected that clip you've selected. So it's loop by region. Command and U is super useful, particularly if you're doing like vocal takes and you just want to loop the chorus. You can click the chords that go through the chorus, hit Command and U, and then it'll just loop that section for you. Number 3 is the fade tool. So in Logic, you can actually select the fade tool at the top to be on command. So you can hold command and then it always comes up. I prefer having the Mkii tool on the command button, like the optional click. So the actual shortcut for it is holding shift and control. It basically, if you do this and then navigate to like the edge of a clip, not Midi, obviously just audio, you hold down shift and control and then click and drag, you'll get a fade in on either side. What you can also do is if you have 2 audio clips together, you can click there, hold shift and control, and then do like a drag up and across, and it'll do a crossfade between those clips really quickly. The reason you want to fade is it stops any like unnecessary clicks and pops as like audio ends or between takes. It's really useful for making stuff sound cleaner as sort of recordings start and recordings finish. So make sure you're fading all your audio clips if you're not already, of course. Number 4 is a shortcut that I've learned fairly recently, and I wish I used it more because it's so useful when you remember to use it. It's a feature that Logic's got semi-recently, but Ableton's had for years, and I've always wished Logic had it. Basically, how often are you like, you're playing along on your keyboard to your song and you're like, damn, that was such a good take. I wish I could have recorded that, and you didn't record it. Well, if you stop the track and then hit Shift and R, it will bring back the Midi that you didn't think you'd recorded. Logic had recorded it, it just didn't show up. So if you hit Shift and R, it'll bring the Midi back, and then you can edit it if you did a really good playthrough and you forgot to hit record at the start. I try to remember, instead of like record, it's more recall. So yeah, if you forgot to click record, this is going to save you, I promise. The only thing to bear in mind is it will only work straight after you've hit stop on the audio. So if you're like clicking play, and then you pause and then you do something else, click play and pause again, you maybe record some audio, you can't then Shift R. It'll only work immediately afterwards. Okay, number 5 is a bit of an organizational one. It's Command, Shift, and D. Command, Shift, and D creates a group stack. Now, there's 2 types of group stack in Logic. It's either a folder stack or a summing stack. A folder stack is purely for grouping. I think it allows you to change volume, but it doesn't allow you to put any plugins on the folder like in Ableton. It is purely organizational. The summing stack kind of creates a bus for you. So it's a simpler way of creating a bus, and everything in that folder will be sent to this new bus, and then you can put plugins on and process stuff all in that group. Usually, I think people would select all of them, right click, create track stack, but if you hit Command, Shift, and D, that's the shortcut for you. Number 6 is bounce in place. So we use the word bounce to describe when you export the final file, right? When you hit Command B and that'll export your whole project. Well, Control B bounces stuff in place in the project. So if you have some Midi chords and you hit Control and B while they're selected, it will bounce out that as audio inside the project. So this is really useful if you, for example, have a lower powered machine and you've got loads of Midi tracks and your computer's struggling. You can bounce them all out as audio and then delete the original instrument tracks or freeze them or whatever it is you want to do, but keep the audio. It's also really useful if you're doing vocal comping and you've got like different vocal takes that you want to keep. You can comp it, bounce it in place, have one line of audio, and then go back and do another comp and bounce that one in place as well. So it's just Control and B, and it'll put it on a new track just below the one you've got selected. Number 7 is one that's quite new. I think it might even be last update. to be honest with you. This is one we've needed for so long. Especially if you're like more down the line in your journey as a producer, you're going to end up with loads of plugins open all of the time, particularly like Melodyne. If you're not using ARA Melodyne, you're going to work with plugins all over your screen. And you used to have to like go and find the little cross and click each one to close them all. You don't have to anymore. They've added like a batch close thing. So if you hold shift and click the cross, it will close all of the plugins in one go. I only learned about this when I was doing this video, and blow my mind. So yeah, shift and click will close all plugins. You just click the cross, hold shift, bang, done. It will save you tons of time, I promise. That's what I need to learn and make sure that I'm using when I'm doing work. Okay, so number 8 is gonna be Option and U. Option and U is Flatten and Merge. This is specifically for vocalists or for people that record a lot of vocals or do a lot of comping. So when you've got a comp, there's a lot of things, unfortunately, in Logic that you can't do to a comp. For example, you can't put fades on a comp, really annoyingly. You also can't nudge audio left and right very easily. It's a lot more difficult to work with comp folders, which is a shame. Hopefully Logic change that soon. But until they do, it's a lot easier to treat it as an audio file rather than a folder. So once you've got your comp, you can hit Option and U, and it will flatten and merge all of those comps into one audio file. So instead of dealing with folders, then you're just dealing with audio. The one thing I would say about this is it is destructive. So it means that you can't then get back your folder once you've done it. The other option is bouncing in place and keeping the original comp folder, but I kind of like making hard decisions and just being like, well, that's the take. I'm going to flatten and merge it. Instead of dealing with lots of comp folders later on, I try and be decisive as I'm working. So that is Option and U. You can also do it, I think, if you click on the letter in the comp folder and then click Flatten and Merge, but the shortcut is Option and U. Okay, so the bonus special secret thing that you get for watching all the way to the end of the video is one that actually works anywhere on Mac. It might be one you already know, it might not, but this will work in any program. I think it definitely works in Logic and it's really useful. It's Option and Click. If you option and click on anything in Mac, it should reset it to default. That means if you've moved all your faders and you then select them all and hit Option and click, it will reset your faders to 0. In any plugin, if you've changed all the settings and you want to default it, you can just option and click on the setting and it will go back to 0. Massive time saver instead of like double clicking, typing in the value, and you can use it anywhere in the operating system, which is really, really useful. Okay, anyway, I've waffled on enough. Thank you so much for watching this video. If there's any shortcuts that you use day to day that I haven't mentioned that you think people would like to benefit from, just drop them in the description down below. If you go to the subscribe button, click that, and then make sure you click the bell. You'll be notified when I do other videos on all sorts of Logic stuff, production stuff, recording stuff. I've got loads of stuff planned, so make sure you do that for me, please. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers.